you ever done anything, MJ, in a fit of rage or a fit of upsettedness?
I have never stabbed Michelle in the neck with a knife. Oh, is that what you're asking?
No, I'm not asking if you actually stabbed Michelle, but have you ever done anything when you weren't in your right mind even temporarily, and then afterwards you immediately like, oh wow, I really feel bad about this.
Have I ever told the West Palm pasta story?
West Palm pasta?
Oh, yeah. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. So, Michelle,
sure.
how in our relationship, how many fits of rage have I had? I've known you since 1987. We got married in 94. How many fits? That pasta incident in West Palm, that might be the only fit of rage that I've ever had.
I think there have been 2 fits of rage, and they both
We're based around pasta?
Yes, both involve pasta.
Get it.
Curiously involved
Are
pasta.
you serious?
I'm serious.
All right. You want to tell the West Palm, and was this before? This was before we were married, right?
We were engaged.
We were engaged, and
yeah.
you moved from Virginia Beach. We got engaged. We got engaged in Virginia Beach. I proposed to you actually in your office at Navy Federal Credit Union because you were a teller, but then they moved you to the mortgage department at Navy Federal in Virginia Beach. And I proposed to Michelle at the office.
How romantic.
I was delivered inside a box. So there was a delivery for Michelle, a big cardboard box, huge box. I was inside the box. And it had Michelle's name, and they brought it inside the office, and the mortgage area was behind, in the back of the bank at Navy Federal. And I popped out of the box, and I popped the question, will you marry me, Michelle? And this was what? Summer of 93.
Yes.
And then 94, we got married. But Michelle, after I proposed, got her crap together, moved down to West Palm Beach. And so we were just engaged at that point.
Yes.
Did you have second thoughts after the West Palm Beach pasta incident?
Yeah. I was at the door with my suitcase. Are you kidding me?
All right. So quickly tell the story on the pasta incident.
Well, you were cooking pasta, and I like angel hair or spaghetti, and you wanted those little ones like risotto or something.
Weren't they bow ties?
No. It was the little itty-bitty ones that look like rice or ants or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like,
it wasn't risotto, but it was like
something
a
like that.
A tiny little pasta shape.
Right. And
Orzo?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you,
That was
Foster.
Orzo. It was, that was it.
I couldn't think of it. So, you're cooking the pasta. You boiled 1 pot of water. And I was like, well, aren't you going to, cook it separately? He goes, it's all going to the same place. Cooks the same, blah, blah, blah. And he puts all angel hair and orzo in the same boiling pot of water. And I was like, that's not what I want. Like, what are you doing? You're nuts.
So it was,
What are you, an animal?
It was angel hair with orzo.
Who cooks 2 different kinds of pastas in the same pot, you animal?
And how are you going to separate it so that I get the angel hair and he gets the orzo?
Just plucking them out?
I'm not sure.
I thought it was going to be exciting.
Isn't the cooking times
it was
different?
like 2.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And angel hair cooks in about 12 seconds. The orzo a little longer. So what happened next?
Disgusting.
Well, I was saying, well, I'm not going to eat it now. And so you got mad and you threw the pasta on the floor. And I went upstairs and packed a suitcase and said, I think this is really not for me.
I flipped out. I threw the pasta on the floor.
Yeah.
Before I became the culinary expert that I am today.
And now you separate your different pastas?
I
Real
did
Anthony
not.
Bourdain we have here, everybody.
I did not cook 2 different types of pasta in the same pot. And then what is
the other one?
Did we patch things up that night, or did we have a rocky?
No, you begged me to stay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You begged me to stay. You're cooking me my pasta. Blah blah blah. Obviously, I stayed.
And what's the second?
And then the second one was we were here in Tampa. We were having friends over, Domino and his, I think, then fiance.
But this wasn't directed toward you.
Oh no, it wasn't directed toward me. But you had a fit of rage. I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, it was really embarrassing. He remembers it to this day.
Dom still talks about this story. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one.
Hey, Cuzzy, remember the time I went to your house and you flipped out?
Yes.
Hey, Cuzzy.
And he laughed.
All right, tell the story. Our friend Dom, not you, Dom. This is another Dom.
Yeah.
So Dom, he laughs like hell when he tells the story. Go ahead.
They're coming over for dinner.
Yep.
And MJ wants to make pasta. My mom had gotten us that Ron Popeil pasta maker
So
for like Christmas or
Yeah.
something one
Ooh,
year.
that's
I got a Christmas gift from Michelle's mom. It was the Ron Popeil home pasta maker.
Which you loved. You used to come home like so many times during the week and make all different pasta shapes. It was so
Right.
fascinating to you. And so they're coming over for dinner. We're ready to go. You start making the pasta, and I guess the machine, I don't know, malfunctioned. Maybe it broke. Maybe you weren't operating it properly.
In mid pasta making, the machine died.
And so, you know, in typical MJ fashion, you got all frustrated with it and you went out back. You just picked it up off the counter, walked out back, and chucked it across the backyard. And it just like smashed and I think went everywhere. And Domino was like,
Listen,
I mean,
we had
you know.
we had guests over. I was making the fresh pasta. The machine died, and yeah, Fester just brought it. It's on eBay right now.
Hey, Cuzzy, remember the time you threw the pasta maker in the backyard?
I took the.
I still tell the story, Cuzzy.
I
Good
took,
times.
I took the Ron Popeil pasta maker and I hurled it, and it smashed to pieces. I
Yeah.
think
Oh
it
my
hit.
gosh.
We had a couple oak trees back there. I think it hit
Yeah.
a tree.
What was the what happened,
Busted.
Michelle, where MJ's mother had to call you and talk you
oh.
off the ledge?
I remember that
I
time.
remember a
Yes.
story where MJ's mother, who is moderately hands off in the relationship, I think,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But she had to
I don't
intervene
know.
and say, "Listen,
The-
my son's a lunatic.
Yes.
my other one's a doctor."
My mom did not say my son's a lunatic.
But
We-
she talked
Just stop
Michelle
it.
into a boomeranging
That's
on
crap.
back.
No, I packed up my car with Scooby, drove all the way to Jacksonville, and your parents called me and begged me to turn around and come home.
But it was something stupid. We had an
Ah,
argument.
we had an argument, and I was like, I think this is just.
We-
You know what it was? It was if I recall correctly, it was around wedding planning, right? Like there was wedding planning. It was frustrating. Everybody wanted something different. Everybody's telling us what we want to do, and we're like, no, we know what we want to do. But you know,
Yeah,
you get into it.
This is when we were in the apartment
Yeah,
on Bayshore behind the Bigelow Mansion. We lived in the condos at Bayshore and Gandy behind the big mansion house. And you packed the car.
Yep.
You had a Saturn SL2,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That's a good car.
Michelle had a Saturn. She packed the car and left me.
And made it
And
all the way to Jacksonville.
She drove to Jacksonville, and my mom. Did you have a cell phone back then?
I don't think I had a cell phone.
How did
but,
my mom get a hold of you? You're on the road in Jacksonville.
well, I probably called you to say, okay, this is where I am, or maybe I called my mom and then she called you, right? Like, you know, you call from the hotel. It was a Red Roof Inn because they let you have dogs there.
And then my mom somehow,
Your
Talk-
mom and dad called me and they were like, you have to turn around and go back. And I was like, no.
and here we are, a loving couple 30 years later.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They were right.
Did you like the video? Want more? Go ahead and click all this like, share, subscribe,